Well, good morning. It's Sunday with Old Man Steve, and I had thought about starting a series called Sunday in the Park with Old Man Steve, but it's too hot to go to the park. Maybe in the fall. So I'll try to do a video every Sunday, but sometimes I forget or I'm doing other things. But anyway, I thought I'd talk about Elvis. That's the hot thing right now, that new movie. I can't wait to go see it. In fact, I was going to go the other day and things came up and couldn't go. So right now I plan on going Tuesday, I hope, the day after July 4th, which also is bargain day at the movie theater. So it's cheaper. And so I'm going to try to get some friends to go with me. Maybe we'll go to the early matinee, and then afterwards we can go have lunch. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Anyway, as I've told you before, if you follow me, you know that in the 1960s, that was before 2000, for you young people, there was the 1900s. Anyway, in the 1960s, excuse me, I lived in New York City, and I was a young man, and I worked for various jobs, but for several years I worked for a music publishing company, and they owned subsidiaries of other music companies, and that was something that was new at the time. They were one of the first. They were buying up these little companies, and they was the umbrella to their company, and a lot of people didn't like that, but a lot of people did, and it saved a lot of companies. Excuse me. We owned Johnny Cash music and Elvis Presley music, Connie Francis. There was just tons of companies that was, and we're talking about sheet music. You know, you have to have the sheet music in order to do the recording. You know, the music is written down, and that gets published, and then people can buy copies and play on the piano or whatever. You know, anyway. They owned Elvis Presley music, and what was happening at the time, Elvis was doing movies in Hollywood, all of those. I still have my cough, makes my throat tickle. Maybe I'll take a cough drop so I can talk. Anyway, he was making all those movies in Hollywood. I can't even think of any names of them, but he churned out a bunch of them, which I understand he really didn't like doing, but he did it because it was great for his career, and of course he made money from it. But my cough going. And in New York, the songs were written for the movies, and they were recorded and by singers, and there was what was called a demo record, and that was sent to Hollywood for Elvis's approval, or the producer, or I'm not sure whose approval. I think Elvis had the last word on that. To approve a song, I had to fit into the movie script. Usually there was 5 or 6 songs, I think. So anyway, we did all of that in New York, and it was then sent to the West Coast for approval. One of the demo singers, he was making a career of it at the time, was Tony Orlando. It was also Kenny Loggins. Several other people I can't remember now. They did demo records, not only for Elvis, but Elvis's movies, but for other artists. for approval. That's just the way the industry worked. I don't know if they still do that or not. But, and then they weren't, their voices weren't in the movies or anything. It's just, they were demo records so that people could hear what songs sounded like when, with music and, you know, and singers and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I worked in the New York office. I was just a file clerk. I never met Elvis. Never thought I would, and I didn't. But I did talk to the Colonel, Tom Parker, a number of times, and how that happened was we had a switchboard. The phone system is not like it is today. We had a main switchboard out in our lobby where a lady sat, and when calls came in, she had to flip a switch or whatever to direct it to whoever's office it was supposed to go to. And that's the way the phone system worked. Sounds archaic now, but that's back then it was state of the art. And they didn't have anybody to relieve her. For her lunch break and for her morning break and her afternoon break. So I was chosen. They taught me how to work the switchboard, so I became the relief. And invariably, Colonel Parker would call when the switchboard operator was out to lunch. That seemed to be his time of day. He was in California, and he would call, and I would answer the phone, and he was very bordered on being rude, but he was very abrupt, and a lot of times he would want to be put through immediately to the president of the company. He had something to gripe about, and a lot of times he didn't want to talk to anybody. He just wanted to leave a message for me to listen to, for me to convey to the president of the company. So I heard some very choice messages. And probably a dozen times that I talked to the colonel. Well, I actually didn't talk to him, I listened. But towards the end there, he got kind of friendly because he recognized my voice, I guess. I don't know. He even asked my name. But that was my close encounter to Elvis. And it was just part of my job. So can't wait to see the movie, but and see how they portray the Colonel Parker. He was a piece of work, let me tell you. Well, okay, that's my Sunday chit chat. Hope y'all have a great 4th of July, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.